Alright, guys, here we are with another episode of Golf Central. April is just around the end, and we would be remiss to not reflect on the great golf event of April, the Masters. We have with us today Josh Searcy, who has been the go to source for all things Masters. He recently gave a speech actually on the Masters tournament, and we'd love to ask him a few questions. So, Josh, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I have to say, it's not too common to see such a millennial such as yourself with such an interest in golf. How would you explain the importance of golf just for your age group?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's not common for someone in my age group to be interested in golf. It is usually something that is, my generation is interested in sports that are a little bit more action oriented, things like football and baseball or even hockey and really soccer lately, honestly. That's been a really big thing for my generation. We love all things European. And so, but I would say, for my generation, I think golf is an important sport and can be an important sport. Golf really centers around the idea of, I wouldn't define it as being polite, but the idea of being a gentleman and being someone who is a little bit more refined and not in a snobby way, but in a good way. And so I would say that if my generation chooses to not invest in golf, we're really relinquishing a really rich history of a sport that teaches proper sportsmanship and what it means to actually be a gentleman. And so to relinquish that history, I think would be foolish. And so I think it's important for my generation to actually invest in a sport like this.
Yeah, I see. Well put. So that's another aspect of the millennial generation is the reality of the culture. Culture is very highly praised. So, is there anything that you've seen with the recent history of golf and that has a profound effect on culture?
Yeah, I think you're right on that as well. That culture is something that my generation is very in tune with. I think we really care about, and I think part of it is just because we're able to see culture a little bit more quickly now in our social media feeds and in the information age that we live in. We're able to see almost everything that happens, and so we love the idea of culture. And there's a culture within every sport, and there's culture within sports itself. And one of the main ones that I think has shaped the culture of sports has been Nike, the company.
Yeah.
And it's really centered around this. It was really kind of the first one to give it was kind of the catalyst for the culture of sports that we see today. Even before Under Armour or anything like that, it was the company that really began the interest in sports, that made sports something that was for lack of a better term, something that was sexy and something that was interesting and intriguing. And I think that thinking of Nike, it would not be the company that it is today without the influence and the attraction of someone like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was very big within the Nike, not coming up of Nike, but as it progressed and grew within the culture, as it was shaping the sports culture, Tiger Woods was a very big figure in that, obviously along with other sports figures, but Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers of all time, some would say the greatest, was a very big piece of that. So I think golf definitely shapes culture, and specifically through someone like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, see, so, well, obviously all of this centers around the Masters tournament. How would you best describe the importance of the Masters to a young person like yourself?
Yeah, so the Masters tournament is it's every April, and it was first introduced in the 1930s and has a really rich history of some amazing shots. It's got somewhat of a sense of magic and intrigue to it, and from that, it's really made itself into what many would say the most prestigious tournament within golf. And so the way that I would describe it to someone in my generation to kind of give them a comparison, I would say the Masters tournament is to golfers what Coachella is to hipsters. It's the event to be at. And I know that can be I hope that's not an insult to anyone who is a hipster or anything like that, but it gets across the point that the Masters is the tournament to be at. It is the event to be at within golf. And
or as some would say, the tea to my lemonade.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it.
My
yes.
grandmother took score over him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. That's why you're here.
Rich family history.
That's why you're hosting Golf Central right there.
I got started from a young age.
That's what it is.
Before I was born.
It's in your blood. Rich history. There you go. So yeah, I would say that the Masters tournament is to golf what Coachella is to hipsters. It is the event to be at. So.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate you coming up today and getting to know you more. And
thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to be here.